All right. Hello again, adventurers, and welcome to another exciting episode of The Legend of the Three Kingdoms. Yes, this is one of my custom D&D campaigns set in one of my custom messed up D&D worlds, and you may notice something different today. We seem to be missing some people. Um, all that will be explained momentarily. Uh, but sorry, doing 7 different things at once. Um, but we have some new things. This is starting with this episode, seen as the party has been sent to lands hitherto unknown. We will be changing how chat experiences all of this. If you watch my other campaign, I have the ability for chat to interact with the game using channel points. They're 100% for free, no subscription required or anything like that. You just earn them by watching me stream. And you can redeem them for things like giving them a reroll to the token or giving them potions when they need health, all the way up to doing things like designing an NPC or designing a boss encounter, things like that. So be sure to check that stuff out and definitely save up your points, because there may be times where they really need that potion of greater healing. Other than that, yeah, the party has been scattered to the 4 winds, so I think it's time for us to return to the legend of the Three Kingdoms. The party has been broken. When they arrived in the Blood Capital, they met with the Blood Council and quickly discovered they were not there only to testify, but also to prove their innocence. They unknowingly had walked into their own trial. As they stated their case and explained everything they had seen, they started to get the feeling that the deck had been pre-stacked against them. As the Blood Council was taking a vote to decide their fate, a new person emerged. The Dark Lord, whom they had banished from his own underground keep, appeared. And as he did, everyone in the party, save for the commander and one other, were frozen, completely unable to move, to talk, anything. This also happened to the entirety of the Blood Council. As the Dark Lord spoke, explaining his plan, how he had manipulated many different groups from each of the different countries that make up Triregnum. He said that it had all come to a point. As this has happened, Commander decided to attempt to stop him by unloading his firearm into the creature, which didn't seem to deter him whatsoever. He tried to leave, but the room soon filled with blood, and everyone's world disappeared into the darkness. Commander awoke later on a dusty road outside a town. To his back was nothing but impenetrable fog. In front of him, a town he had never seen, with architecture that seemed out of place. He'd never seen such buildings before. As he wandered into the town, he found it to be effectively deserted. Eventually, through some investigation, he found a family that did acknowledge him, but seemed terrified of him, kept speaking of things that they seemed to assume he already knew, but were completely foreign to him. A creature came through the town, threatening them with violence and suffering. After it left, he went back out to the streets to explore this new place and hopefully find out where he was and what happened to the rest of his comrades. Commander, you again are on an empty river road. This town itself seems eerily calm, as if all the buildings are holding their breath, waiting for something to pass. Further down this river road, you can see a town square with a statue in the center. And around you are various buildings that are boarded up, locked doors, closed windows. Though you now know, behind those barriers is a populace terrified of what's to come next. What would you like to do?
I'm still at the town square, right? Like I just approached it.
Yeah, you just got there.
And are there what's the layout as far as, is there roads going 4 different ways, or is it 2 roads, or what is it?
So the town square is a conglomeration of the 3 roads all meet in the town square.
Okay.
In the center is a very large statue, which now that you are close enough, you can see is the Dark Lord, though not quite how you remember him. This is a statue. He's very broad shoulders, a big barrel to the chest. He's wearing furs and armors. There's a very large sword in one hand resting on the ground. And his other hand is kind of outstretched, and he has this very heroic looking smile. If you didn't know who the figure was, you would assume this was some hero that had saved the town. You do notice, even from a casual glance, though, the statue itself is pristinely clean. There are no blemishes on it. There are no droppings from birds. Nothing you would normally see on a statue.
How tall is it?
It's about 15 feet tall. So not quite to scale.
Yeah. Um. I want to try and climb the statue to try and get a little bit of a bird's eye view as to what's around.
Sure. Okay. I will need strength athletics check from you.
You don't want acrobatics? Okay.
Not to climb a very bizarrely shaped statue.
Okay.
When you get to the top, we might deal with some acrobatics.
9.
9. So as you, there is a little kind of wrought iron fence around it. It's only about 3.5 of 4 feet high. So you very kind of quickly kind of jump the fence. As you go up, you start looking for handholds and footholds to climb up this. And you make it a couple of feet up, and then you slip and fall, narrowly missing being impaled by one of the points of the wrought iron fence around it. And as you start to kind of dust yourself off, you hear a familiar voice behind you. First you come here, now you... What are you doing? You trying to get us all killed?
Is it her?
Yeah, as you look back, it's the woman whose house you effectively broke into.
She pulled me into it. Well, are you following me? What are you doing?
Well, he's gone, and you were going out here, and I just wanted to...
Real quick, before you have to go, what is this name of this town?
This is... Klossgate. Now, you can't be on that statue. It's my job to clean it, and now I have to clean all the things you've done to it. And if he comes back, and it's not clean, just
okay.
Please leave.
Okay, I walk out. I get out of the fence,
and you see her start to relax just slightly. She doesn't seem quite as panicked.
Before you go, do you know what that person or what that thing was that came here?
He's a servant of Lord Noctis. And he's here to collect the taxes. All right, I really can't be seen speaking to you. There are edicts. We're not supposed to speak to his guests. We're not supposed to acknowledge them. He has plans for you, and if I interfere with them, I've said too much. And she starts to kind of wander over to the statue, and she takes out a rubber rag and starts polishing it.
And I'll wipe. What if I can? Unless she pushes me away, I'll wipe everything I made.
She won't let you anywhere near it.
Okay, then I walk. I step away. So the 3 roads. The one of them I came through, right?
Yep. The 3 roads. The one you came from goes to the west. There's one that goes to the north, and then one that goes to the southeast.
If I glance down the northern road, what do I see down there?
The northern road is relatively short, no more than about 500 or 600 feet, and it ends in a rather elaborate wooden gate. There are houses on either side of it, and you can see some side streets go off from there. But it seems the majority of the town is either to the west of the square or to the south east.
And what do I see? As far as I can see, at least, what do I see down the southeast?
The road continues for about 200 feet, and then it splits at a T intersection, and then there are more buildings and things like that. You do see what looks to you to be some sort of forge or smithy, judging by the significantly larger chimney onto the top of it, and just kind of the build of the building itself, and then other various houses.
Okay. Um, I'll go back up. I won't go near the fence, but enough where I can at least speak to her in a low voice,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll ask her if that is the southeast is the only way out of town as
Uh,
far as roads.
Southeast doesn't lead out of town. North is the one that has the gate.
Oh, that's right. Okay, sorry.
You see her kind of look, and then her face drains of color, and she instantly turns back and starts just really vigorously scrubbing the statue.
Did she look at me or look past me?
Looked past you.
Okay. Uh, do I hear large footsteps behind me?
You don't. You don't hear anything, but you do feel a presence behind you.
I'll take a step forward and pivot to face what's behind me.
As you spin around, it feels like you've been stabbed in the gut
Okay.
with a blade of ice. As you turn around, you see a face you haven't seen in years. But you'd never forget this face for as long as you live. Young, relatively delicate, very feminine, but it has a strength behind it. As you meet her eyes, you can see behind them is a great, powerful force. And as you come to terms with the fact that you are staring your younger sister in the face, the left side of your face explodes in pain. The force of the blow is strong enough that it takes you to the ground. You spit some blood. You look up to see a gauntleted hand wiping away a little bit of blood. And as you gaze up, you see your own face. Or rather, not quite. They're minor differences. This particular version of your face has a fuller beard, very nicely trimmed. Seems to be a scar above his left eye that you've never seen in your own mirror. On his hip is a very delicate but obviously well made rapier. And as your head is still swimming from the fact that you're looking at what seems to be your self, your twin brother places his hand on your younger sister's shoulder and goes, "It seems someone has decided to play a prank on us. Peasant.
Vincent.
You do not speak my name. You have stolen my face. I don't like that. Oh, brother, don't be so upset. I've been practicing new magics recently. I would love to test them on him. I could simply scorch the face from his flesh. It would be a wonderful new way to gain obedience.
I'm gonna kill this man. Am I still like reeling from the pain, or do I have
You've come
my
to terms with it.
faculties?
Most of it was the fact that you weren't expecting it. You didn't even see Vincent until his gauntlet smacked you across the chin. So it was more unpreparedness and just being completely overwhelmed by the sight before you. So now, other than the fact that you still to taste blood, you're mostly in control of your faculties, or as much as you feel you would be in control at this point.
Did I take damage from that?
No, it's just a superficial.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Again, you took heart damage.
Emotional damage.
Yes, you need
Okay.
many years of the therapy.
Mm-hmm.
So what you do when you give me backstories to we'll work with.
Oh, I know. Okay. I was not expecting this soon. And they're basically standing right on top of me.
Yeah, they've taken a bit of a step back. You do notice your sister herself is in this kind of very elegant black dress, and you can't actually see her feet. The dress goes all the way to the ground. But she kind of bobs where she is, to the point that you don't think she's actually standing. You think she's floating just barely off the ground.
I'll stand up and look at them both and just say, I've missed you.
And they both kind of look at each other. They look back. Vincent's the first one to speak. I'm sorry. Have we met? Have I tortured you before? Sorry if faces are so forgettable, especially when you steal mine. Oh, I must say it's a rather poor copy.
Yeah, well, I always say take after dad.
Maybe we should just start with who changed you. Because they need to pay. I will not accept such an insult. So give me a name, and I will make sure they understand what they did wrong.
Now I point up at the statue.
And now he looks even more confused. And he kind of turns towards your sister. And she looks towards you, and you see her whisper a few words and draw some symbols in the air. And then she just looks at you with this piercing gaze. No, brother, I don't see anything that would indicate he's under some sort of spell. He must just be stupid. Yes, that's what I thought as well. I think this one needs to be made of an example of. And almost faster than your eyes can track, his hand goes to his rapier and pulls it out and starts thrusting it towards your midsection. I don't have my dice. Let me get them.
Sir, this is D&D. Come on.
They were 12 inches away. Give me a break. That's a really great 5. That's a little better. To 24.
Oh yeah, that'll hit.
Okay. So you feel the blade stick into your midsection, and the pain is excruciating. You've been stabbed. You've had a lot of the things happen to you, but the pain from this blade specifically hurts more than you would suspect it to. And as he pulls it away, you can see the blood on it has already crystallized. And he goes, well, it's a nice start. And he rests the tip of the blade right underneath your neck and starts applying pressure, trying to encourage you to stand up.
I was already standing.
What?
I was already standing.
You are correct. He's attempting to kind of move you, lead you with the blade against your throat. Oh, I should probably roll the damage, shouldn't I?
Yeah. I figured, I didn't know if this was in the superficial one or not.
No, that was an actual attack roll. I just forgot that there's the damage involved in it attacks. You take 9 points of piercing damage. Nine points of frost damage.
Ouch. All right. That was mean.
Come on. It's time to string you up. And again, he's applying more pressure to the point where if you resist for too much longer, it's going to eventually break skin and then break other things. Unless you do something different.
What do I have here? Hold on. I will say I don't want to do this, but if you force me, I will. And I will leap back 5 feet if I can.
Sure. Go ahead and make me a Dex acrobatics.
That's a 26.
Yeah, as the blade, as you feel it start piercing Sis's skin, and you feel just the tiniest droplet of blood start dripping back, you throw your self back and kind of roll backwards, land on, do a back roll up and land on your feet again, about 5 feet away.
And as I land, I'm drawing my gun, burning a grip point, and firing a forceful shot.
Cool. Make your attack roll.
Natural 20. Oh boy.
That misses. I'm sorry. Make your well, for first things first, who are you aiming at?
Vincent.
Okay. Yeah, roll your damage and anything else that into details.
He needs to make a 17 strength saving throw. If he fails, he's pushed 15 feet back.
Oh, good. I made it a dex-based bad guy. I rolled a 17 on the die, though. So as you roll up, you pull Fury out. You line up the shot fire. You see the bullet go in impact the half plate that he, or the breastplate that he's wearing, and launch him backward just ever so slightly. He throws his leg back to stop himself from going too far forward, and you see him cough a little bit of blood as he looks down, and you
He
see
does take
rage in his eyes.
15 points of damage.
Okay. So yeah, he kind of rubs the corner of his mouth. You can see this fury in him, and then he looks down at the weapon. He's like, that's not. And suddenly you hear this very small voice from behind you. Please, Governor, please, he's one of Lord Noctis's guests. I tried to tell him he wasn't allowed to be here, but. And you see, as he hears that, he stops, and you see a smile form. So, the final guest is here, and he came to my town. And apparently he has tricks. Dear sister, I believe this is our cue to leave. Oh, you're going to have fun. You're going to have so much fun while you're here. And you see him sheathe the rapier, turn on his heel, place an arm on your sister, on her shoulder, and they both start walking and vanish into nothingness.
As they disappear, I just say under my breath, "Nice seeing you."
As soon as they're gone, you hear an impact behind you, and sobbing start.
I kind of just do that, the shoulder drop and the head roll back, kind of, and I turn around.
You see the woman is now on the floor, absolutely hysterically sobbing, and she realizes where she is, and she collects herself and kind of like crawls, dives over the small fence around it so as not to damage the statue. And you see her just kind of scrambling around and trying to get everything, and she seems so overwhelmed with emotion she doesn't even know what she's doing. You see, she's starting to pick up like rocks and put them into her bag with the other supplies, and then she starts cleaning the dirt road, and she just seems hysterical at this point.
So there's no big guy behind me. Okay, that's what I was afraid of. I want to. You said the north one, the southeast. Okay, I want to very quickly make my way to that forge towards the southeast.
Okay.
And is it boarded up?
It's closed, and there is a very heavy wooden beam on the front to the double door that is keeping it closed.
Not doors, no.
It's the doors of the most terrifying thing.
I know. Is there a window or anything I can see where I can try and get in?
Sure. Make a. You can. There's a couple windows. They're kind of grimy, and they don't. They don't look like they open, or they don't look like they open any more.
I'll pick one of the lower ones, so I don't have to go too high,
Mm-hmm.
and I will try to either, if I can't pry the window out, I will just use the pommel of the sword and break the corners and try and break all the glass out.
Okay. Make me a dex acrobatics check to try and pry it open first. Since that's what you said first. The Eustace is still there, Commander?
The door killed him.
Apparently. Doors are dangerous as stuff, guys. Like, no joke. He's gone. And now the thing is gone. Welcome to the top of my my dresser. Gotta love it. Hopefully he'll be back real soon, and you can see my face real soon. I have no idea. I didn't think what I was doing was that bad. Like I thought this was a pretty interesting the thing, but apparently I pissed him off. While we were waiting for him to return, this is the land that they have found themselves in with Kloska. Hey, I think that means he's coming.
I am so sorry. I'm sorry.
The joys of
being in the middle of nowhere. Yeah.
Yubbers.
Okay.
So, I asked you to make a dex acrobatics check. Did you hear that?
I did not.
Okay, make
a
dex acrobatics to try and pry the door open. Or window, I mean.
Oh, that's a 1.
Yeah, then you to try and pry it open, it doesn't work, so you flip fury around and you just kind of smash it. And as you do that, you hear, "Hey!"
Does it sound like the voice I heard earlier?
No, this is a new voice.
Oh, okay. And is it from inside the building?
Yes.
Okay. Am I? Is the window like cleared, or is it still kind of just sitting there, kind of jagged?
It's jagged. As soon as you broke the first pane of it, you heard this, "Hey!"
So I just say, "I'm sorry. I just need to use some tools. I didn't know anyone was in here."
You break into my building. Now you want me to give you my tools?
Not give, just allow me to use, and I will walk away after that.
It does a 26 hit your armor class.
Yeah. Easily.
As you're sitting there negotiating through this broken window, you get smacked in the face by a rock.
From inside the window?
Yeah. Someone has hurled something at you. You take 4 points of bludgeoning damage. And your head rings a bit. I've got more where those came from. Get out of here, the thief!
I'm not trying to steal. I just want to use a tool. Sorry. And I'll walk away.
As you do, you again feel strange, like someone is watching you.
Do I see anything?
Make me a perception check.
Come on. 14.
As you kind of look around, trying to figure out where this feeling is coming from, you suddenly notice down one of the side streets is what looks like a cloaked figure just staring at you. You can see a pair of eyes underneath the cloak, but nothing else.
Does it seem, is it like a big figure? Is it small, lithe?
Small. Not quite like dwarvish as a size, but just barely taller than that. Probably a short human.
And I can see their eyes? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'll
Their eyes almost seem to glow.
And this, you said this, if I'm, my back is to the forge, this is where this person at?
They're down one of these side streets, a little bit away from the forge.
Okay. Why not? I'll just walk straight up to him.
As you get there, you see that the cloak and robe that they're wearing has been concealing a fair amount of movement. There's a table in front of them. As you get closer, you hear the familiar sound of cards being shuffled.
It's like I'm there, I could hear it now.
Yeah, it's nice to have real props.
Right.
As this figure that does that, you see a single frail, wrinkled hand come out and place a card in front of her. You hear an old, feminine voice. That's interesting. The talons. Someone's got their talons in you, don't they?
Things would appear that way.
Oh, she pulls out another card. Ruin in your future. Not good. Especially for one who's not even from this realm. So sad. Another card comes out. But it seems there is a key. It will lead you through the problems in front of you. You must discover what this key is before your brother and sister are lost to you. Yes, it is rather strange that I would know your relation to the governor, especially since he has no memory of you. Nor...
There's neither of them do.
Yes. It's very bizarre that I would have this knowledge.
Who may you be?
My name is unimportant. My purpose, that is what you should be worried about.
That's more of what I was asking about.
I am, let's say, invested in what happens to you and your friends. You've been dealt a bad hand of cards, Commander. I'm here to maybe balance some things out. Ask any question you wish. If I can answer it, I will.
Where may this key be?
Well, the key itself is not a physical object.
I never think it would be.
As far as its location, that is something you must discover on your own. I can neither tell you where it is nor how to find its location.
Hmm. Is that really my brother and sister, or is that the figment that this place is making up?
Oh, they are very real people. And some of them are your brother and sister, and some of them are not. This realm is strange that way. It takes bits and pieces, molds them together to something horrible.
Yeah. Any other advice?
I'm not here to advise, I'm here to inform. You've asked a remarkably small number of questions, especially when you are in a land you know nothing about. Would you care to learn anything else about this realm, about where your friends are, about why you are here?
I figured I'd know why we're here, but if you could tell me where my friends are, that would be very helpful.
Well, it would seem your closest friend would probably be in the village of Ebenthorn. Hold, please. I have to remember where I send everyone. Hold, please. I built this thing in like super fast, and now what are you doing, dear Lord? Uh, I have to remember who's who. This is so. There we go. Okay. Yeah. Okay, that was the right thing. I'm so sorry for folks. I'm sure this is really riveting stuff. Um. So she says, "Yes, your closest friend is in Abernthorn, though." And at this point, she may not even recognize your face. So far has she fallen into despair and sorrow. Remarkably enough, you've gotten off rather easy. Had you arrived sooner, you probably would have been tortured much more thoroughly.
How far is it to Evanthorn from here?
Ebenthorn is a 3 days journey west. The road itself tends to be fairly clear. Luckily for you, you don't have to go through the webwood to the north. That is never an enjoyable journey.
Um, what what am I trying to say? I'm trying to think of the words here. What is this tax that everyone is afraid of? Is this pain and punishment?
Well, everyone in this realm is meant to support the great Lord Lucian Noctis. These are his lands by birthright. So everyone here pays him a tax to keep him wealthy, to keep him fed, to keep him entertained. Taxes can be such fluid things. Sometimes the tax is money, sometimes it's blood, sometimes it's flesh. When the taxman comes, you hope for a good experience.
And I'm guessing that's the big tall guy.
You learn quickly.
Last thing, is the fog dangerous?
The fog is the edge of existence for you now. There's nothing outside the fog anymore. You can traverse the fog for the rest of your life. You'll never find anything on the other side.
So, yes, got it. All right. Off to Emethor I go.
Remember, this world survives on the suffering of its people. If you truly wish to oust the Dark Lord, you must find a way to end the suffering. Would you care for one final reading before you go?
Am I going to regret it if I say yes?
Oh, no one can really know what they're going to regret before they do it. Regrets
Fair
are
enough.
things best left till after you do.
Yeah. Why not?
The key is close. You seem to have a good grasp of where to find it. But the Vizier, he will try to stop you. He will seem friendly, but he is anything but. And the fates themselves, they watch you. They are interested in what happens to you. They may intervene to help you. They may intervene to harm you. But the fates are watching.
So, no regrets. Good. Hey, Jody, she said the what? The Vizier?
Vizier. Yes.
Okay. And she said the Vizier is what again?
The Vizier is going to be involved. He's going to try to stop you. He will seem friendly.
Oh, that's right. And do I know what that is or who that is?
You know what the word Vizier is. It's just generally a trusted advisor to someone in power, generally royalty.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. If you've ever seen the movie Aladdin, Jafar was the Grand Vizier. So, trusted advisor, generally thought to be very wise and helps a ruler make decisions by basically being an expert in a certain subject or subjects.
Okay, gotcha. Like the right hand, I guess.
Kinda, yeah.
Okay. All right. I will. Uh, do I owe you anything for your readings?
No. What you owe me, you may never be able to pay me back for. The readings, I do those for fun.
Yeah, not like that. But either way, thank you. And I will slowly back away and head back to that forge.
Be careful, Commander. Not everything can be solved with bullets and gunpowder.
Good to know.
As you say that, you look back and there's no one there. You are talking to yourself.
Now, what else is new? I will go this time around the back of the forge to see if there's a back door.
Make me an investigation check.
It's a door, man. Oh, wow. You can be there earlier. Natural 20.
Yeah, as you're looking around, there is no door back here, but you do, or there isn't supposed to be a door back here, but you do find a seam in the wall. It looks like there is a hidden pocket door in the rear here, and it is extremely well made, to the point where you're lucky to have found it at all, and the average passerby would never know it exists unless it actually opens.
Is there any chance I could get it open from out here, or does it look like it's pretty well? It's so well seamed, it's not possible.
There's no handle out here to open it with. You try putting a little force on it to see if it opens inward. Nothing. It's very, very solid. You assume it swings as outward.
Any chance of getting a blade in that seam and prying it?
Oh, no way.
Okay.
Again, super well made. If you could find something to give you leverage, you might be able to open it, but it's not going to be from getting inside this as a seam. The seam is perfect.
Then I will not gently, but knock on it enough where someone can hear it inside.
You wait a minute. Nothing.
And I'll say, I'm assuming the person's there. They could very well not be. I'm assuming that they're there, and I'm just going to say, I'm sorry about your window. I will pay you. If you want gold, I will pay to replace it and to borrow your tools. I just want to use it to clean some of my equipment. That's all I would want to do, and then I'll leave.
Nothing.
All right, I'll go back to the broken window.
Okay.
And I'll go with the other corners.
You gonna break another corner?
On the window, yeah.
Okay.
But I'm gonna keep my head out of line of fire coming outside the window.
Sure. Does math is hard. Does a 14 hit your armor class?
No.
Okay. Another stone streaks out as you break another one, and you hear, "Back, are you? and you hear kind of clanging and the things like that. And now that you've broken 2 panes of the window, you can kind of see in a little bit. It's extremely dark in there. It seems that all light in there has been snuffed out. But there's enough light coming in through the very greasy window that you have now opened that you can see the tip of a very long and well-made spear being thrust towards the window opening.
And how much of the window is like gone, or is it still kind of over majority there?
You still have sharp bits around the edges, but it's a 4-pane window, and you've destroyed the lower 2 panes.
Oh, so it's got the wooden in the middle too,
Yep.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Now I understand. Okay. And is that? I don't know. I'm afraid to put my head out there. I will back away a little bit from the window, and so I can at least see inward somewhat.
Okay. You see a spear come through, and you're just far enough away that it doesn't do anything. The spear disappears, and as you gaze in a little bit, another item comes out, but not nearly with the velocity that the stone that hit you before did.
Yeah.
And it drops right at your feet. It seems to be a small circular object. It looks kind of like a vial, but it has a wick that is slowly burning down.
I run away immediately.
Okay, make me the dex save if you would.
Oh, but ick. Dexterity saving throw is 20, not natural.
That's pretty damn good. You take 15 halved of piercing damage. So that would be 7 piercing damage as shards of glass embed themselves in your arms. You avoid the majority of the explosion. However, you are rather intrigued by the idea. You haven't thought of using a vial and gunpowder to create effectively a projectile glass weapon. The shards themselves, as you dig a few of them out, are really thick. Like, this is much thicker than a regular of a vial. So obviously this glass has been blown specifically for this purpose.
I'll take my my sketchbook out real quick and write down a quick note about exploding glass vial bomb, and then put it back. And then so I will go not directly next to the window again, but enough close enough where I can say something and still hear him talk back. And I'll say, so there's no chance I can just borrow your tools. I'm not keeping them. I just want to borrow them.
You see movement again coming through the window. Another projectile comes out. Very similar to the last one. You see the wick burning down very quickly at your feet.
Okay, I'm gone. I leave. I run away.
All right. This time, because you're more suspecting it, you're able to kind of get out of there before the shrapnel hits.
All right. 3-day stream. Sorry, there was a bug flying by my face. I'll just. Yeah, I'll try and. Okay, that's getting annoying. How do I get out of that? I'll just start making my way towards the Western Road.
Okay.
Wait, that's the one it came in from, right?
Um. Yes.
And which one was the one that I needed to go out of to get to?
You need to go the western road to get to
Evanthorn?
Thorn.
Okay, so that's where I go. Okay.
Yep. Yeah. The fog is to the south. So when you woke up, you were basically just barely west of Klossgate, and you went into that way. So. Yeah, as you get on the road and you start to traveling, the surrounding area is lifeless. You can see there's kind of dead grass along the sides of the road, but you don't see many creatures. At night, you do hear creatures wandering around. You hear the howl of wolves and other more dangerous creatures, but they never seem to come close enough to cause you any issue. The first night of your journey, you pull out your rations to have a meal as you're about to set up camp and find them all to be completely spoiled.
Oh, well, this is wonderful. Am I able to? And he said the entire surroundings is lifeless.
For the most part, like I said, you've heard creatures in the distance moving around, but you don't see any sort of game animals while you're looking, and there's no berries or to trees from which to forage that you can see.
Great. I guess I just go to and there's no trees or anything near me, is there?
Where you are right now, it's mostly kind of hills and fields. There is a forest to the north, but it is a significant distance. You can barely see it on the horizon.
I guess I'll try and find what I can reasonably consider the highest point
Mm-hmm.
and try and use that as a both a watch out and a night to rest.
Sorry, what was that? I missed the last part.
It's the use the highest point I can find as a sort of watch out and a place to rest for the night.
Okay. So yeah, you find a hill that's a little bit higher than most. There is enough kind of dry grass and bushes and things like that to make a small fire for yourself if you would like it.
Is it cold?
Somewhat. It feels like late fall, so not to the point where you're afraid of hypothermia, but it's definitely not comfortable.
I don't want to draw the attention, so I'm not going to build a fire.
Okay. As you sleep, go ahead and roll me a con save.
Oh, goody! It's one of these places. Okay.
This is more of a fact that you
It's
haven't
cold.
eaten all day.
Oh, gotcha. Con save 14.
14. Despite the fact that you haven't had a meal in the gods know how long, you are able to kind of fight off your stomach growling, complaining. Your second day's journey is relatively similar, though the hunger pains start getting worse and worse. Anything you wanted to do on that second day?
Sorry, I was trying to put long rest in. It won't let me for some reason. Oh, there it goes. Okay.
Thank you, D&D Beyond.
There we go. Um, I guess scrounge for any kind of food or berries I can find,
Okay.
any kind of other foliage or maybe small game. I'll try and do that. If not, uh, that that glass projectile, essentially frag grenade,
Mm-hmm.
is still kind of itching my mind. So I'll sketch out ideas to make that a little more lethal, I guess.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead and make me a survival check.
Oh, that's great. 16.
Doing everything you can to find some sort of a food. You're not able to find any berries or fruits or anything like that. You do find some plants that you don't believe are poisonous, that you think you probably could eat. They're going to be unpleasant, but it's better than not having food at all.
Very uh outcast sort of thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Um so yeah, I'll try and do the same thing again second night of finding a high point to keep eye out, and
Mm-hmm.
before I go to bed I'll just continue sketching or writing ideas down and then just go to sleep.
Another uneventful night passes. As you wake up, um, you notice about an hour or two's journey ahead of you seems to be a relatively large stone bridge going across a river.
Do I have hold on, do I have a pack? What is it? Oh, I don't have rations anymore. I should delete those. Um I was thought I had a fishing pole or a fishing line and go fishing in the river, but I'll just leave that be.
Okay.
Um, any, I keep eyes out for fruits and game again
Okay.
as I make my way through the path.
Okay. As you could cross the bridge, the river below it seems wrong. The water itself is far too dark. You can't see anything beneath the surface, though you do every so often see ripples that something is down there moving and churning the waters itself. Though the ripples are faint enough that you can't even guess the size. They could be small guppies or a large river monster waiting to devour whatever falls in.
Is the river moving quickly or is it kind of a slow?
It's a decent speed. It's not fast enough to have rapids on it, but the current is strong enough that swimming across the river would take a fair amount of effort and strength.
Oh, okay. All right. Don't want to deal with whatever monsters in there, so I will get myself quickly across the bridge and get away from the river.
All right. As you go across the bridge, you can see in the distance a relatively small town. Um, the town itself seems to be butted up right against a relatively large forest behind it. As you get to the town, or as you get closer, you hear the familiar sound of swords hitting swords and other objects. Obviously, some sort of conflict is happening in society the town.
Does it sound like a lot of swords, or does it sound like maybe someone's just having a bar fight?
It sounds like a fair amount, like larger than your regular party. Maybe a dozen people fighting another force of maybe a dozen, from what you can hear.
I will quickly make my way towards, but I want to stay off the road if I can to use a building as cover,
Okay.
so I can peek around the corner and see what's happening without being noticed.
All right. Make me a stealth check.
So good at stealth. Is that it's a 13?
All right. You start going in, and you very carefully get up to one of the buildings, and you kind of peer around to see what's happening. What you see in front of you, it seems to be a group of relatively well armed, possibly mercenaries, and they are fighting wolves and bats, which seems odd somehow. You're not entirely sure where the sound of metal on metal is coming from, because wolves don't generally tend to wear a lot of armor, and bats skill with a sword tends to be limited at best.
Oh yeah, that's an understatement. Um, Does it look, if I watch for a minute or so,
Mm-hmm.
does it look as though it's a repeating cycle of movement, or does it look as though it's continuously changing?
It looks to be continuously changing. Nothing about this screams allusion to you. Suddenly, as you're watching, you see a relatively large and strong feminine figure rush out. In one hand, she brandishes a dagger that seems to have a permanent mist around it. As every time it interacts with the air, it starts to crystallize as it. She rushes forward and plunges the dagger into the back of one of the wolves, only to have three more wolves pounce on her and start ripping her flesh. Argenta. Yet again, you have come to the end of your journey. The battle is being fought in the middle of the town this time. It's a nice change that doesn't happen often. Generally, the battle happens in the woods or in a plain. It's nice that it's happening in the town. You can see some of your friends. As you start to feel the blood loss start to affect your vision, as it has done so many times before, you see what must be a hallucination. Hiding behind a building a mere 150 feet away is Commander. But you've seen his face, Vala's, Henri's, so many times. It doesn't even phase you anymore. At this point, it's almost like a practical joke. You can almost feel yourself stifling a little laugh, that for some odd reason your brain has decided to conjure up this image.
If anything else, I'm just kind of amused that he's there this time. It's brand new. But I'm not really fighting anything that's happening. I know it's going to happen.
Okay. Commander, as you watch Argenta fall to the ground, and these wolves just start ripping at her flesh, you see this tiny bit of a smile in the corner of her mouth. What would you like to do?
Oh, does it? I mean, obviously, she is dead. Obviously, I mean, or she is dying, or is this a she's instantly dead kind of thing?
She doesn't look dead yet. She looks to be still alive, but she looks like she's going to be dead very soon here. You've seen creatures, never a human, but you've seen animals that have gotten to this point in their battle with a pack of wolves. It generally doesn't end very well.
And okay. I guess I just did the one thing that makes sense is trying to shoot the wolves off of her.
Okay, go ahead and make me attack rolls.
I will. Let's see. Burn a point of grit for Deadeye on the first one, and I'm going to use. Oh, I don't know if you'll let this happen, but I just wanted to see if it'll work. Could I use a forceful shot on the one closest to me, and have it push through the other, like its body push the other ones off as well?
Sure. Go ahead and make your attack roll.
So I won't be doing Deadeye. I'll be just doing a forceful shot.
Okay. Yeah. There'll be I believe there's a save on that, right?
17 strength saving throw.
Okay.
That's a 25 to hit.
Oh, definitely hits. Go and roll the damage.
Where is my guess? Bird grit, and it is 8 points of damage.
All right. As you sit there and you pull Fury out, you aim down the sight. You aim for the largest bone and muscle center on the wolf to try and get the most impact out of this. As you fire it off, the sound cracks through the air. A few of the combatants actually stop and look at you, which is long enough for the wolves to tackle them and start devouring them. But the wolf you hit not only gets hit, but gets shoved against the other three. And for a moment, it seems that Argenta no longer has something that is ripping her into tiny little pieces. Argenta, something strange has happened. You've had hallucinations before, but they've never been able to affect the wolves. The wolves are unstoppable. This is how it always happens. But your hallucination just shot 3 wolves off of you. What would you like to do?
Because I'm so used to going through the motions, I just kind of pick up my dagger and I'm gonna go to the wolves to try and keep fighting them. Still confused, but thinking it's not over yet. Maybe there's another part to it this time.
Okay. Sure. So as you go over and you start stabbing more wolves, you are able to take out 2 more. Suddenly you feel pressure on your neck as these bats come down and attach themselves to your body in various places. Again, the tunnel vision starts and gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And the ground comes up to embrace you as it has happened so many times before. And then nothing. Your existence is silence. Commander, you watch as Argenta gets up after the wolves have been knocked off. She kind of looks at you, and this just look of just acceptance goes on her face, and she turns around and starts stabbing one of the wolves. You see the bats form on her. She drops down to her knees, falls to her face, and her body stops moving. Almost as if on cue, the wolves gather up and leave. The bats fly into the distance, and in front of you is a pool of carnage. Not a single combatant survived as far as you can see.
I run over to Argenta. Uh, is she like for real dead, or is there any chance of doing anything? I have a healing potion.
Sure, as you go over there, you kind of to turn her from her face onto her back to look into her eyes to try and revive her. Go ahead and make a medicine check. As you get over there, a heavy rain starts falling.
This is 20 again, not natural.
All right, looking her over, you don't see any signs of life. You open her eyes, there's nothing behind them. This isn't Argenta anymore. This is a corpse.
I kind of not being, I guess, emotionally all there. I try to start doing CPR essentially.
Okay. Make me another medicine check.
14.
Right. So you sit there and you're trying to get her to start breathing again. You're pressing on her rib cage, trying to force the blood to pump to the rest of her body. You tilt her head back, cover her nose, breathe in. You watch her chest rise and fall as you force air into her lungs. Go back to pressing on her chest over and over again, trying desperately to get the blood to start pumping again on its own. Nothing.
I will just scream into my lungs, medic, essentially, just like asking for help, for someone to help.
As you look around, there are some people that are kind of watching you, but none of them seem like they want to get anywhere near this carnage. This town seems to be much more lively than Klausgate was, but none of them are coming in near you.
Is there an awning anywhere, a building I can get her out of the rain?
Yeah. You're able to kind of drag her body near one of the buildings and get to an overhang to where she's no longer in the direct torrential downpour. The rain has actually done pretty well. Most of the blood has been washed away. The wounds themselves have stopped bleeding, so if it weren't for the fact that she was missing large portions of her skin in certain places, you could almost mistake her for being asleep.
And her dagger is still there on her?
She would have dropped it when she
Fell.
died, but you could have taken it with you.
Yeah, I would have grabbed that and I would have put it in a pack or something like that.
Okay.
Oh crap! I'll look back at the people and say, "Why aren't you helping? Come help me!"
They all kind of look at you, confused.
I'll scream at them, trying to intimidate them if I can.
Sure, roll me an intimidation check.
Get advantage on. 20, not natural.
A few of them are kind of taken aback, and you see two kind of come over, and they look confused. One of them, confused is all he is. He just takes his shirt and rips the sleeve off and starts ripping bandages out of it and starts trying to bandage her wounds. The other one is just kind of standing there, again very confused. You suddenly feel a pressure on your shoulder, and as you look, you see a really worn and calloused hand resting on your shoulder. And as you follow it up to the body of a dwarf, he looks at you and goes, "He's gone. Or she's gone. There's nothing you can do for her. So give her a proper burial. Come on, I know a place. This isn't."
Why are none of you doing anything? Why are you just standing around? Why is no one doing anything?
They knew what they got into. We wouldn't have been able to save him. Not if every one of us had been given us a sword. They picked a fight with a rather nasty beastie. Come on, let's give her one last bit of dignity, shall we?
Why did the animals just leave? Why did they not go for everyone else?
It's our only hill to kill the vampire hunters. That's what happens when you hunt vampires. They send beasties after you. And when you don't know what you're doing, well, this is what happens. And you see him kind of reach down and start picking up her body.
I stop him real quick. The look she gave me. It's like she's been doing this, like, on repeat. Does this happen on a daily basis or something?
Vampire hunters come through here all the time. We've had a nasty mean one for a while now. They come. They try and stop it, and they fail. It happens. I have to say, I think I'd remember a beauty like this. She a friend of yours? Acquaintance, maybe significant other?
She's a friend of mine.
I'm very sorry.
We
for your
traveled a lot
loss.
together.
Come, let's get out of this area. There's a place over here.
Okay.
And he picks up the body. Argenta's body is definitely larger than this dwarf, but he seems to carry it with no problem. And it's not awkward or anything. He doesn't throw it over his shoulder. He treats it with respect. He goes up to a hilltop. As you get there, the rain starts to lighten a little bit. You can see what seems to be a grave already dug. He lays the body down gracefully. Piles of dirt on each side are piled onto the top of burlap cloth. So it goes to one, and he just lifts it, and the dirt slowly falls over. Goes around to the other one, covers it up. Is there anything you want to say to your fallen friend?
Sorry I was late. I was too late. I just stand there and quiet.
Apologies are nice. The end of her little life, I think she forgave you. He kind of taps you on the back. There's a shack over there. It's meant for the keeper of this graveyard, but we haven't had a keeper in so long. If you'd like, there's a little bit of food in there. There's a nice dry bed. It's fairly late now. Should probably get some rest.
Can I roll? Just because with the settings of this place as it is, I can I roll an insight check on him?
Sure. What are you trying to read from him?
Is he genuine? Is he, and does he have a ruby?
Uh,
Um, but is he genuine? Is he like? Is he is he trying to be in my good graces, or is he trying to be genuinely comforting towards me?
sure. Go ahead and make your insight check.
Ooh, natural 19. So that is a 22.
Looking him over, you haven't had a ton of interactions with the dwarves. And you've literally just met this person, so knowing his particular details don't seem isn't something that's really possible. But as you look him over, there's nothing about him that would hint to you that there's some sort of ulterior motive. He seems genuinely remorseful about the person that died. He was very respectful about it. He doesn't seem overly sad about it. Like he doesn't seem to be in mourning or anything like that. So you kind of get the idea that he's probably dealt with the death enough that it doesn't really affect him really hard. But beyond that, you don't sense any sort of lies or anything.
Okay.
Thing.
I'll take you up on that food.
It's in there. Get some to eat. Get some rest. And come to town tomorrow once the sun's up.
I walk towards the shed. I'll say, good Master Dwarf, that grave was already dug.
Aye. We generally keep a few fresh graves open. The vampires out, they don't tend to stay unfilled very long.
Okay.
If you leave the bodies to fester and rot, sometimes they don't always stay dead down.
Okay. And I'll go into the little shack.
Okay. And there you see some almost as a stale bread, a little bit of salt pork, and a water skin.
I'm inhaling the food and water right now at this point.
It's not bad. You've definitely had worse, but having had nothing but grass soup for your journey here, it is a very fulfilling meal.
Well, I'm sure this is glorious compared to Vala's cooking.
Well, when we bring her back, we can have that discussion.
Well, at least that's what I think as I'm eating. And I will, whatever I have available, I will sort of prop against the door so it can't open without me knowing if someone's trying to come in, and I will go to bed.
Yeah. You instantly are unconscious. You're actually surprised with how quickly you entered dreams. As you sleep, you dream about Argenta. You remember the first time you met her. You remember when she got that dagger. And when you wake up, you notice your face is damp. As you kind of look at it, you've been crying in your sleep.
I sit up and reach for that and pull out the dagger. I just hold it and look at it.
As you're focusing on the dagger, you hear a strange sound like dirt moving around. Maybe an animal did a digging, something similar to that.
Figuring I know what that means. Probably means something's eating her body. I will grab a rapier and not even realize I have the dagger in my hand. I will run for her grave.
Okay. As you open the door, you see a hole where her grave was. Crouched and then next to it, dusting herself off, is Argenta. Argenta, today's been a weird day. You're used to waking up the same way for the past 3 months. It's almost like a clockwork. Today, though, when you woke up, you were covered in dirt. You had to dig yourself out. As you did, you saw someone buried you. Then it never happened before. And as you reach down to check on your dagger, it's not there. None of your weapons are on you. As you're dusting yourself off, you hear a door open, and you look, and Commander has your dagger. What would you like to do?
I'm just kind of squinting. You've been showing up a lot today recently. I'm just looking at him, but focusing on the dagger.
The dagger glows, doesn't it? Or is that in tune where it glows?
It glows when you're in cold temperatures. The place you're in right now is not cold enough to make it glow.
Oh, dang it. Okay. You were dead. I buried you.
It's a change of pace, but it's weird waking up that way. Who are you this time?
You were dead, and I buried you.
I die a lot. It's nothing new.
I'll put the rapier down.
Really quickly, from Classy Don, Argenta might need this inspiration. What with the weird day that's happening, take some inspiration, Argenta.
I will.
Just as a reference, any inspiration that you get from the audience, just put somewhere on your character sheet and mark how many you have. Unlike normal inspiration, where you can only have just one, you can bank as many as they give you.
Oh, wow.
Gotcha.
And use it on whatever rolls you want.
And it's a D20?
It gives you advantage. So.
Oh, okay, cool.
So just like it's DM in preparation, so you can give yourself advantage on a roll.
Gotcha. I will put the rapier back in its scabbard. I will pull out my gun, not in a threatening way. I'm holding the barrels with it facing away, and I will hold the blade of the dagger and walk towards her with the dagger point, with the hilt of the dagger pointed towards her to take it back.
I'll take it back. Just because you're wearing that face, I'll call you Commander, as I've called the rest. Where are the other weapons?
Argenta, it's me.
I just kind of smile and chuckle a bit. Of course, but where are the other weapons? I'm going to need them for tonight.
I grabbed your dagger. The other ones are back where you were your body where you died.
At least it was in town this time, and I kind of dust off my pants and stand up.
I'll help her up.
Commander comes over and kind of gives you a hand up. There are phantom pains. You've gone kind of accustomed to the fact that every time you wake up, you're going to have new aches and pains you don't remember having before. But you're able to stand up just fine.
All right, I'm just gonna start making my way into town again.
Okay.
And can retrieve the weapons that dropped when I died.
As you go into the town itself, that's very loud. As you go into the town itself, the town is relatively lively. You see people going around. A few of them kind of wave to you, tilt a hat, things like that. A young boy runs up. Miss Argenta, someone's been playing a prank on you.
Oh, have they?
Yeah, they took all your weapons. They put them in the tavern. They're next to your booth, but someone stole your weapons.
Annoying. Thank you for telling me.
And you see him kind of get bashful for a second, and then just kind of run off.
Okay, I'll head to the tavern then.
The only tavern in town is the Drunken Mule. It acts as a bit of a town hall in addition to being a place where people come to get completely shit-faced. So as you could come in, you see quite a few people kind of turn to you and they go, "Hey, Argenta!" You can see the familiar view of the bounty board on the far wall with the largest bounty in the center depicting a feral vampire. And you see a group of about three men kind of eyeing the poster.
As I see them eyeing, I'm just kind of nodding. Oh, okay. The warriors for tonight, and I'm heading to the booth to collect my weapons.
Okay. As you go down, you see a dwarf come over, really worn, calloused as his hands, just kind of wiping out a flagon. Miss Argenta, it's lovely to see you today. Would you like a bit of breakfast? It's on the house. It's hard to have repeat customers.
Regular booth?
Aye, of course. Send it right over to you.
All right. I head over, sit down, expecting the same breakfast I've had for 3 months.
You come over, the dwarf comes back. He's got a plate of hot meat, pork and bacon, and we've lost Commander again. Welcome to the top of my head, folks.
His internet dropped again.
Yep. So when he comes back, we'll deal with that. Sorry, folks, I can't really readjust things because Zoom is just really bad for technical issues like this. But you can still hear my voice. Maybe we'll give you something else more interesting to look at. We're in Ebon the Thorn. Isn't that cool? So on your plate, salted meats, nice warm food. There's some bread rolls there that just smell divine. And served up with all of it is this icy mug of mead.
Okay, and are my weapons in the booth like the kid said?
Yuppers.
Okay. And there's Commander.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the thing just crashed on me, the entire app. Sorry.
It happens.
So before I even touch the food, I grab my hand axe and I put it down,
Mhm.
throw into Wolf number three's skull. I put my quiver on my back with my bow, and I'm just like, shoot 4 arrows into 2 wolves before I charge in. And I'm just muttering like the repeat of the fight
Mhm.
under my breath. Commander can hear it though as I'm equipping things.
Commander, I don't know how much you missed, but the dwarf that you recognized from last night came over, greeted our Genta, said her food was on the house, and brought her over this plate of food and a big frosty mug of mead.
Do I get the hint that he has no recollection of burying her?
If he does, he doesn't seem to be showing it. He greeted her like an old friend. Wasn't
Okay.
surprised to see her, nothing. In fact, the whole town seems to know Argenta pretty well.
Seems like you made a name for yourself here.
Um, she just kind of shrugs. I see them every day. Though it's always the same thing. Usually, you're the weird one. Usually, you don't stick around this long. Neither does Vala or Henri or Lillian.
I don't know what I can do to prove to you that I'm not a hallucination. I'm real. I just woke up a few days ago in some town called Closet Gate or something like that. I don't know.
Have the hallucinations ever spoken, Jody?
I will leave that up to you.
Okay.
You can decide exactly how much interaction you have with them. I will say, when they first started it happening, it was more of just you would see a face or something that was comforting. And I will let you go from there. Whatever you
All right.
feel she has experienced.
Look, if anything, if you really are here, and she'll just kind of poke him.
Mm-hmm.
There's flesh. Look, if you're here, don't show up tonight. I'll be back. She just kind of looks at the ones who are looking at the posters. They won't. I don't know about you. And then she'll start eating.
I can't. I can't not do something. Why would I just not try and do something to help?
I mean, it's useless. We all die every night. I'm the only one that comes back. No one seems to remember I died.
And yet they didn't attack me when I attacked them yesterday. I don't know if that's a coincidence or not, but still.
What would you even do to stop it? It's always the same. Minor differences here and there might be. I mean, we fought in the town square. That hasn't happened in a long time. It was a nice change of pace, but it's always the same.
What? How many are there? Why is it always the same?
The wolves are unstoppable.
I think did I see it right when I saw when you stabbed one it became three?
I mean, I guess the other weird thing is I died by bats the other day. Usually it's 3 wolves jump on me and then I'm dead. She just kind of looks puzzled, looks up at the ceiling, and is drinking her mead. Just a long swig.
And is there a main one that's causing everything, or is it just a group of all of them?
I mean, I don't know. We've always been attacked.
We
You know,
need to
you're
change the parameters. We need to change this.
you're a rather interesting hallucination. Usually they repeat the same thing. It's sort of strange.
I like because I'm not one. I don't know
As
what I need to tell you.
as you say that, you suddenly hear the music in the tavern stop as one of the gentlemen over by the bounty board slams a spear butt onto the ground a few times. Attention! This vampire, he's threatened these lands far too long. So we are going to go and slay him and save this town. We are registered vampire hunters. Any who wish to join us will get a share not only of the spoils, but of the glory as well. Who's with us?
Argenta's just like, yeah, sure, you'll find me anyway. So I just raise my glass.
Aye, wonderful. Who else is joining us? And the tavern gets really quiet. Fine. The fewer the men, the greater the share of glory. And he comes over with his two friends. I must know the name of the woman I shall be shedding blood with tonight.
Argenta.
Wonderful to meet you, Argenta. I'm Simon. This is Theodore. Valmont. We have been vampire hunters for 12 years. We've taken down 17 vampires and various spawns as well. We're looking forward to our 18th kill. What experience do you have hunting vampires?
I've killed a true vampire before and more than a handful of spawn.
Ah, wonderful. Are you registered with the Guild?
Sadly, no. I arrived in town not too long ago. They know me, but yeah.
It's too bad. Unfortunately, we won't be able to split any of the guild profit with you, but the local bounty we will split evenly. Ah. Yeah.
In the midst of him talking, I just slam my hand on the ground and say, "Do you mind? I was having a private conversation with her. Now go away for a moment, please."
And he kind of looks at you. Sorry, but we have planning to do. There are
do that.
many
you
other
do that after our
women
conversations. Here. This is a friend of mine. All right.
He kind of looks over at Argenta. This
She
puzzled look.
She looks a little puzzled too because the hallucinations never interacted with anyone else. Could you give us a couple minutes? I'll be with you.
Okay. We'll meet you outside. We have some. We found some tracks earlier. We think we can follow them to where it is. And they all kind of turn towards you. Sorry if we've offended.
You didn't offend. I'm just trying to make a point with her. So, please.
And they just look at you like you just squirted cheese out of your ears. and wander away.
Look, Argenta, you can't go. Something's got to change. We got to do something different. You said you died every day for the past 3 months. Something has to change.
Rather peculiar, but okay. She kind of thinks for a moment. Let's say this is like 3 months ago before that whole thing happened. I've left town before. I've gone different ways. I've stayed in town. That was the first time the battle happened in the city. She kind of chuckles to herself. It always finds its way to me. It never changes.
Look, I'm just saying, you said you've been here 3 months. You died every single day. I'm trying to prove a point to you that it is me. That is, I am not, it's this hallucination. Ask me a question. I will prove to you that I am real.
As much as look, Commander, and she just kind of looks at him all over. The hallucinations got, I mean, it depended. Some were more real, some were just kind of visages. But they knew things at times, so they seemed rather shallow. You're already the most interesting one. They've never talked to people around me. I always thought they were just figments of my imagination, but they obviously reacted to you. So, what would you even suggest? Because if you really are Commander, I'm going to die tonight. No matter what I do, that battle will find its way to me.
I will pull my gun out and put it on the table in front of you, and let you pick it up.
I'll pick it up.
It's got a bit of a heft to it. Still warm from being in his palm.
And you see that the barrels have a bit of more rust to them and more aging than how I would normally let it before that whole incident happened.
Looks like your maintenance has gotten a bit sloppy.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you take apparently a very long nap.
She just kind of takes in a deep breath and softens for a moment. Okay. This, like wringing her hands through her hair. Look, I haven't seen anyone in a long time, and these people, they just keep dying, and I'm the only one that comes back. No matter what I've done to try to avoid it, it happens. I don't. The hallucinations, I've always urged them to go away. I don't want anything to happen to you. I don't want anything to happen to these people, but I can't do anything.
Maybe we can now. I'm here. We can change things.
It doesn't.
Do you remember that we did in Dorme? How we helped that whole village before the fire thing?
And then we burnt it down. I mean, great example.
Yeah, right.
You've already. She's just like, I mean, things have already been a little weird. It's been the weirdest day I've had. But it didn't change overall. I still died. I mean, they all died. Then what would we even do?
We set traps. We did. We planned for the we planned the best we can to put the engagement in our favor. You said they always come to you, right?
Or I find it's hard to tell.
So let's go off the fact that they find you. We can use that to our advantage. We can set traps. We can set ambush points. We can set everything we need to take care of these things.
I mean, she's just trying to come to terms with this and is like rubbing the bridge of her nose. How would it? They're endless. The bats and the wolves, and they're not like bats and wolves that I've ever fought before. They're
A hush falls over the tavern again, and you guys hear a scream from outside. And that is where we are going to end it for tonight. As always, if you missed any of the episode, I do upload all of these to my YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/TrainerJody. I upload them on Sundays, so you can watch the entire series there. Because we've gotten an audience tonight, we are actually going to raid a good friend of mine named Chax. So if you're still here and you're joining us for the raid, just type roll for initiative when you get to her channel. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys next time. All right, bye-bye.